Dear students, in the last video we have discussed about Young's modulus. The formula for Young's modulus is given by Young's modulus y equal to f into L by A delta L. Okay, so here to determine the Young's modulus of a material of the wire, here I am taking two wires of same material. Sorry. I'm taking two wires of same material. Another wire yes, two wires of same material and having same length. These two wires are made up of same material and length of both wires is also same. Cross-sectional area of both wire same for both wires. Same for both. Cross-sectional area is also same for both. So here I am attaching pans to these two wires. I am attaching pans to add the weights to both of these two wires. So here we call this wire as a reference wire. This is nothing but a reference wire, and this is nothing but experimental wire. And this wire is having scale. This wire is having some scale. Okay, I am adding equal weights in both the wires to keep the wires straight. Okay, I am attaching a needle to the second wire like this, and this needle is being attached with a vernier calipers. This is also being attached with. This is main scale. This is nothing but vernier scale. Okay, so see here, these two wires are, this wire and this wire are made up of same material, having same length, having same cross-sectional area, and these two wires are being attached with the pans, and I am attaching equal weights in both the wires to keep the wires straight. Now if we add more mass to this wire, consider if I add m weight, m mass, additional mass, m here, this mass, and this mass, these three are nothing but additional mass. Mass of this additional objects that are kept in this pan is nothing but capital M. So here and the weight, corresponding weight is nothing but m into g. So this force is acting on this experimental wire. So because of this force, there will be a tensile stress comes into picture. Okay, because of this force is this force mg stretches the experimental wire. Because of this, the needle will be displaced from initial position to some other position, and this change in length is nothing but what? This is delta L. You can measure the delta L using this needle, and also you can find out the m into g force. gravitational force. Because of this gravitational force, the experimental wire will be under tensile stress. So from this we can find out force and also delta L, elongation in the experimental wire. And if we know delta L value, force value, we already know the initial length and area, so we can find out the Young's modulus using this type of experiment. So here Young's modulus y equal to F into L by A delta L. Here F is nothing but gravitational force. Because of that gravitational force, only the experimental wire will be elongated under tensile stress. So M into G into L divided by area of cross section is nothing but pi r square into delta L. Like this we can determine the Young's modulus of any material. Okay, so now I am going to discuss about another kind of elastic modulus, that is shear modulus. Shear modulus, we also call it as modulus of rigidity. Modulus of rigidity. In the last video, we have discussed about shear modulus, shear stress and shear strain. When an object is taken like this, if we apply two equal and opposite forces along the tangential direction, so if the forces are acting in the tangential direction like this, because of application of force, the cylinder will be displaced in this direction, in the tangential direction like this. Okay, so we consider this length is nothing but L and this is nothing but delta X. We call this as shear because of application of force, tangential application of force. Okay, so here now the shear stress is nothing but shear stress is equal to restoring force per unit area, restoring force per unit area, that is nothing but F by A. And now shear strain is nothing but shear strain is equal to delta X by L. So shear stress is having units of Newton per meter square. Shear strain has no units here. And we know elastic modulus. Here we are discussing about shear modulus, and shear modulus is nothing but, in general, elastic modulus is stress divided by strain. But here shear modulus is nothing but shear stress divided by shear strain. Shear stress divided by shear strain. Here shear stress is nothing but force per unit area divided by delta X by L. Okay, so the other day we have discussed already this deviation is nothing but theta. From trigonometry we know that tan theta is equal to opposite side delta X by adjacent side L, delta X by L. For small displacement, for small deformation, tan theta is approximately is equal to theta, that is equal to delta X by L. So here the shear modulus is given by, indicated with G. G is nothing but F by A into delta L by delta X, L divided by delta X. This is the formula for shear modulus. And now from here F by A divided by delta X by L is nothing but tan theta. In other terms, the G value is also given by G is equal to force per unit area divided by tan theta. This is another form of shear modulus. Okay, we also know that for small deformation tan theta is equal to theta, therefore G is equal to F by A divided by theta. So here shear modulus is equal to F by A theta. F by A theta. Right. This is all about shear modulus. See here, the shear modulus units are same as shear stress, that are Newton per meter square or simply pascals. Now we are going to discuss about third kind of elastic modulus, that is bulk modulus. Now I am discussing about bulk modulus. Here in the first video of this chapter number 10, we have discussed that when an object is placed inside a fluid, let us consider this is nothing but fluid. When an object is placed inside the fluid like this, and this fluid exert force in all directions, normal force in all directions like this. So because of this normal force, there is equal and opposite force exerted by the fluid also. So these are nothing but object. Force exerted by fluid. From Newton's law of motion, the another force, restoring force, will be generated, and that restoring force per unit area is nothing but hydraulic stress. Here hydraulic stress is defined as hydraulic stress is equal to restoring force per unit area. Restoring force per unit area. Force per unit area. Okay, so see here, because of the force exerted by fluid on the object, force exerted by fluid on the object, the volume will be decreased. Volume decreases here. If volume decreases, final volume is less than initial volume. So delta V will become negative here. Okay, what is changing here? Volume is changing. So here bulk strain or hydraulic strain or volume strain, bulk strain is given by delta V by V. Delta V by V will be having no units, whereas hydraulic stress is also equivalent to, which is equivalent to magnitude of hydraulic pressure. Magnitude of hydraulic pressure. So for pressure, hydraulic pressure. So for pressure, the units are Newton per meter square or pascals. Okay. Now I am defining about bulk modulus. We know the elastic modulus is nothing but stress divided by strain. Now the bulk modulus is given by hydraulic stress. Hydraulic stress divided by strain, bulk strain. So here hydraulic stress is nothing but, which is also equal to hydraulic pressure, simply hydraulic pressure P, divided by bulk strain is nothing but delta V by V. Okay, delta V by V. See here, bulk modulus should be always positive. In order to keep the bulk modulus always positive, the delta V will come out as negative. If delta V, because of the force exerted by fluid on the object, the final volume decreases. So if final volume decreases, change in volume will be negative. If change in volume negative, bulk modulus will come out as negative. So it is not correct. So we need to keep a negative sign here. If we keep negative sign here, already negative sign is there. The change in volume comes out as a negative. So negative of negative will become positive. So why I am keeping here negative sign? Keeping negative sign because delta V is negative. So negative of negative will become positive. So negative, delta V is negative. So negative of negative will become positive. Therefore bulk modulus is always positive, no negative. Bulk modulus is always positive. Okay, what are the units of bulk modulus? Again, Newton per meter square or simply pascals are the units of bulk modulus. Okay, now we are going to define the another term, compressibility. Compressibility. Reciprocal of bulk modulus is called as the compressibility. Compressibility is nothing but simply reciprocal of bulk modulus. Okay, that is nothing but 1 divided by minus P divided by delta V by V. Okay, so compressibility factor K is equal to reciprocal of bulk modulus is equal to minus delta V by V divided by P. This is the answer, right? So if bulk modulus is more, compressibility is less. Bulk modulus and compressibility are inversely proportional to each other. Compressibility are inversely proportional. That is, if bulk modulus is more, compressibility is less. So for solids, the bulk modulus is more, so that they compress less as compared to liquids. And liquids bulk modulus is more as compared to solids bulk modulus. Gases bulk modulus. Therefore, bulk modulus of solids is greater than bulk modulus of liquids is greater than bulk modulus of gases. So solids have greatest bulk modulus, whereas gases have least bulk modulus. So that as the bulk modulus of the solids is more, that means compressibility factor, compressibility of solids is less. That means solids will compress less as compared to compressibility of liquids. Okay, that means liquids will be compressed more as compared to solids. And now when we compare liquids and gases, the liquids will be compressed less as compared to gases. So compressibility factor for liquids is less than compressibility factor of gases. Among solids, liquids and gases, which one will be compressed more? Gases will be compressed more and solids will be compressed less. Why? Because the solids are closely packed and the interatomic distance is almost fixed in the case of solids. So compressibility is less. Therefore, the bulk modulus will be more. In the case of gases, the gas molecules are less attracted to each other. So the distance between them is more. Distance between the gas molecules is more, and the attractive force is also less, so that the gases will be compressed more. So compressibility factor for gases is more, so bulk modulus is less in the case of gases. Now I am going to explain you an example. Example number 10.3 here. Right? See here, in this example, see, this person is a human pyramid. In a human pyramid, in a circus, the entire weight of the balanced group is supported by the legs of the performer, who is lying on his back. Here, a person is lying on his back with his legs stretched like this. With his legs stretched like this. Total performer's weight and prank's weight is acting on the two legs of a person. Okay, so here next one is the combined mass of all the persons performing the act and the tables, planks, etc. involved is about 280 kg. So here total mass is equal to how much? 280 kilograms. And the mass of the performer lying on his back at the bottom of the pyramid is how much? Mass of performer lying back is equal to how much? 60 kg. So total mass including all the performance equal to 280 kg. performer lying on his back is equal to 60 kg. So net mass is equal to 280 kg minus 60 kg is equal to 220 kg. This mass supported by the mass, this is the mass supported by the legs of the performer. So how many legs are there here? Total weight is equal to total weight acting on the two legs is equal to 220 into 9.8. 220 into 9.8 is nothing but it's about 2156 newtons. So there are two legs. So weight acting on each leg is equal to 2156 newtons divided by 2, that is nothing but 1078 newtons. So the force acting on the each leg is equal to how much? 1078 newtons. Next, each thigh bone of this performer has a length of 50 centimeter. Length is equal to 50 centimeter, that is nothing but 0.5 meters. Now the effective radius R is equal to 2 centimeters, that is nothing but 0.02 meters. So we can find out the area equal to pi r square, pi into 0.02 whole square meter square. We got area also. Now determine the amount by which each thigh bone gets compressed under the extra load. What is delta L here? We know that Young's modulus, when Young's modulus of the bone, when it is compressed, we have discussed in the table, we have seen in the Young's modulus table, which is equal to 9.4 into 10 to the power of 9. 9.4 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton per meter square. This is the Young's modulus for bone when it is compressed. So 9.4 into 10 to the power of 9. So here we know F value, length value, area and Young's modulus. The unknown thing is nothing but delta L. We need to find out the same. So we know the formula for Young's modulus equal to F into L by A delta L. So we need to find out the delta L here. Delta L is equal to F into L by A into Y. Here F is nothing but how much? 1078 into length. Length L is nothing but 0.5 divided by area is nothing but area is equal to pi into 0.02 whole square into Y. Y is nothing but Young's modulus. Young's modulus here 9.4 into 10 to the power of 9. So by solving this you will get the answer for delta L. Okay. Now I am going to discuss another example. Example number 10.4. Here in example number 10.4 he asked to find out see a square lead I am drawing a square like this. Square lead slab of side 50 centimeters and thickness 10 centimeters. 50 centimeters and thickness is 10 centimeters. So the area is equal to 0.5 into 0.1. That is nothing but 5 by 100, 0.05 meter square. We got the area here. And the shearing force F equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 4. The lower edge is reverted to the floor. How much will the upper edge be displaced? When some force is applied, 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into 10 to the power of 4 newtons is applied, it will undergo some shear. So what is this shear here? What is this delta x? Here L is equal to 0.5 meters or 50 centimeters, 0.5 meters. So we need to find out what is delta x. We know that Young's modulus, shear modulus G is equal to force per unit area divided by delta x by L here. Okay, so G is equal to F by A into L by delta x. So here delta x is equal to F into L by A into G. Here F value is given, length is also given, length L is equal to 0.5 meters, and area, we find out area, and G value is nothing but for lead, and G value, shear modulus, is given in the table in the textbook. Shear modulus for lead, G value is equal to 5.6 into 10 to the power of 9, 10 to the power of 9 pascals. So F is known, L is known, area is known, G value is known. By substituting all the values, you will get the answer for delta x. Now I am going to discuss about one more example here. Example number 5. Yes, the example number 5 is talking about the average depth of Indian Ocean is about average depth H is equal to 3000 meters. Calculate the fractional compression delta V by V is how much of water at the bottom of the ocean. What is delta V by V at the bottom of the ocean? Given that bulk modulus for water, bulk modulus B is equal to 2.2 into 10 to the power of 2.2 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton per meter square, and take G value is equal to acceleration due to gravity equal to 10 meter per second square. And here bulk modulus definition is nothing but minus P divided by delta V by V. So here delta V by V is equal to minus P divided by B, P by B. So here P value is nothing but pressure. We can find out the excess pressure is nothing but. We will discuss about this excess pressure. We also call it as gauge pressure. We will discuss about this in the next chapter. Excess pressure P is equal to rho GH. Here rho is nothing but density of water. Here rho is density of water, that is 1000 kg per meter cube into G. G value is nothing but 9.8 actually, but take it as 10 meter per second square into H. H is given, H value is nothing but 3000 meters. 3000 meters. From this you will find out the excess pressure P. The excess pressure P is equal to, you will get it as 3 into 10 to the power of 7 Newton per meter square or pascals. You will get the excess pressure P here. So if you know the P value, now the delta V by V is equal to, P value is nothing but 3 into 10 to the power of 7 divided by B. B is nothing but here, B is bulk modulus. Bulk modulus of water is given by 2.2 into 10 to the power of 9. So here 3 divided by 2.2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 is the answer. By calculating this, you will get the answer. Now I am going to give some clues for the problems. for problems 11, 12, 13 and 14. These are going to be a homework for you. I am going to give you just clues for these 4 set of problems. I am going to discuss about 11th problem first. The 11th problem is talking about a 2 centimeter cube of some substance has its upper face displaced by 0.15 centimeters. See here. Let us consider this is as a cube. This is displaced by, upper face is displaced by how much? 0.15 centimeters. 0.15 centimeters. This is 0.15 centimeters. So delta x equal to 0.15 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters. Due to a tangential force of 0.3 newtons. Tangential force here is 0.3 newtons. While keeping the lower face fixed, calculate the rigidity modulus of the substance. Rigidity modulus G is equal to, here length L is equal to 2 centimeters. That is L equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters. So rigidity modulus equal to force per unit area divided by delta x by L. Delta x by L. So area of the cube is nothing but, area of side of the cube is nothing but area equal to length into length, that is nothing but 2 centimeters into 2 centimeters, that is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meters square. You will get the area. So you know force equal to 0.3 newtons, area is equal to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meters square, and delta x value is given and length is also given. Length is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters. So you will get the answer for G in terms of pascals or Newton per meter square. Okay. So next one is 12th problem. In 12th problem, a spherical ball of volume 1000 centimeter cube. Volume V is equal to 1000 centimeter cube is subjected to a pressure of 10 atmospheres. Pressure P is equal to 10 atmospheres. Convert into 1 atmosphere is nothing but 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals. Convert it into SI system of units. Similarly, convert volume into SI system of units. 1000 into 1 centimeter is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 2 meters whole cube. That is nothing but 1000 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meter cube. So volume is given, pressure is given. The other thing is the change in volume is, nothing but here delta V is equal to how much? 10 power minus 2 centimeter square. That is equal to 10 to the power of minus 2 into 1 centimeter is nothing but 10 power minus 2 meters or square or cube. Okay, so 10 power minus 2 into 10 power minus 6 is nothing but 10 power minus 8 centimeter cube. You will get 10 power minus 8 centimeter cube as delta V. If the ball is made up of iron, find the bulk modulus. What is the bulk modulus? Bulk modulus B equal to pressure divided by delta V by V. Here he has given pressure value. Substitute. Delta V value is equal to 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeter cube. Substitute there. And volume is also 1000 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meter cube. So you will get the answer for bulk modulus here. Okay. So now I am going to discuss about problem number 13 and 14 now. See here, a copper cube of side of length 1 centimeter is subjected to a pressure of 1000 atmospheres. 13th one. Side length of cube A is equal to how much? 1 centimeter. So volume of the cube equal to A cube, that is nothing but 1 centimeter cube. 1 centimeter cube, that is 10 to the power of minus 6 meter cube in SI system of units, and subjected to a pressure of 100 atmospheres. Pressure P equal to 100 atmosphere. 1 atmosphere is nothing but 1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square or pascals. And now find the change in its volume. What is change in its volume? Delta V. If the bulk modulus is 1.4 into 10 to the power of 11 Newton per meter square or pascals. We know B is equal to P divided by delta V by V. So delta V is equal to P into V divided by B. PV divided by B. So here pressure is known, volume is equal to 10 power minus 6 meter cube, and bulk modulus is nothing but 1.4 into 10 to the power of 11. By substituting these values, you will get the answer for change in volume in terms of meter cube. So you will get the answer. Now problem number 14. The problem number 14 is determine the pressure required to reduce the given volume of water by 2%. So change in volume is 2%. Change in volume to original volume is 2%. That means 2 by 100. 2 by 100 is nothing but 0.02. Delta V by V equal to 0.02. And bulk modulus of water, B is equal to 2.2 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton per meter square or pascals. Here he asked to find out, determine the pressure P. What is pressure P here? We know the bulk modulus B is equal to pressure P by delta V by V. So here pressure P is equal to bulk modulus into fractional change in volume. So here bulk modulus is 2.2 into 10 to the power of 9 into delta V by V value is how much? 0.02. So we will get the answer for pressure as 2.2 into 2 is nothing but 4.4 into 10 to the power of 7 Newton per meter square or pascals. Students, solve all the examples as well as problems. I have given hints for problem numbers 11, 12, 13 and 14. So you need to copy down them in notebook. Thank you.